Coach Casey Osborne may be to make each season better than the last. North this year has done that and then some under Coach Tommy Sills, who joins us now. And Tommy, after a last place finish in district a year ago, did you ever dream of something like second place, which you achieved this year?
Yeah, I did, because I think I'd mentioned to you in the earlier meeting that we had, I have a bunch of young kids that are good players, and they're eager and they're hungry, and I'm like, we're going to surprise some people, and we did.
Yeah, there's no question.
It doesn't surprise me in the least.
No question. 3 losses overall, 2 of them in regulation, 1 a
Right.
shootout loss. We'll talk about your first round opponent, Liberty, here in just a moment. But first, you went 9-3 in the district season. And you've closed the season very strong, 4 consecutive wins. What do you like most about your team right now?
That we're playing together as a team, and that they're all, we have the same objective, the same goal in mind, and I think the kids have bought into the philosophy that it's all about team. We've got some guys that have starred, shine a little bit, but the deal is we always fall back to the team, aspect, and kids have worked hard, and they believe in themselves. This is not the same team as it was, a month and a half ago.
Morgan Disney is putting together a season that won't be soon forgotten. He has 20 goals and 20 assists. What separates Morgan from the competition? His
unselfishness. I mean, it's amazing. Sometimes you'll see him, he'll take the ball down, and he'll be in control, and he actually could take a shot, maybe not the best shot, but he'll ditch the ball off. And the thing about it is the kids have respect for somebody like that. That's not a ball hog. And they'll give him the ball right back, and that's why he's got 20 goals. He's got 20 assists, because he's willing to give the ball up to help his teammates.
Forget the hat trick. He had 2 of them in one game against Anna earlier this season in an 11-0 win for your team. 6 goals. What was most impressive about that performance?
Really how easy it came for him, because he's such a skilled player, and the contributions that the other kids made to help him score that many goals. I mean, one of them was a penalty kick, which
he's going to bury that.
He's going to bury that most of the time. But the others were good, hard fought job of getting the ball and distributing it and getting it back, and
An encouraging sign overall, Tommy, for this team is that in the last 3 games, all wins for your team, has been that Disney hasn't scored a goal. You're not totally dependent on Morgan to score goals for you to win a game.
No, not at all. Not at all. We have quite a few people that can score. Sean Martineau is one of them. We've got, of course, Jacob Diaz. I've got Cody Ludwig. I've moved to stopper. Cody is a defensive player, but he's very offensive-minded. He could play forward if I wanted to play forward. He could play midfield. When he gets the ball, he becomes an extra offensive player. We've got a very well-rounded group of players.
You bring up Martineau. What do you like about him? It seems like at outside mid, he's a good distributor that can help set up Disney.
Right. Well, he's a freshman that played on the varsity last year, and I think he was a little bit intimidated by the speed of the game and stuff like that, but he has really grown up, and his skills are very good. All the young players that I have very good skills, and it's about confidence.
This is a young team overall. Like you mentioned, it's not so much about experience. Would they be intimidated on this stage? And they haven't. What have you liked about how this team has matured as the season has moved along?
Well, they believe in themselves. I mean, they really believe. I kept telling them it's all about, it's a philosophy of we know what we can do physically. It's the mind game now. Do we believe that we can put them both together and put a game together? And what it did, it kind of started happening for us. And now they believe in themselves, and they believe they can win. They believe they can win every time they step on the field.
And that mentality is evident in the team.
It's dangerous.
Well, it is dangerous, no doubt. Your team is one that people shouldn't be too excited about seeing in the first round. Kyle Biggio, Scott Bell are 2 freshmen that certainly embody that attitude, not being intimidated. They're 2 players. Biggio at forward, Bell at outside mid. They have really stepped forward for you.
Very much so. They were both concerned a little bit about how much playing time they were going to get, being freshmen on the varsity. And, my philosophy is if you're not going to get to play, I'm not going to move you up. I'm going to leave you down and play on the JV, and then you'll be ready for next year. But both of them are ready to go, and it's all about the confidence level. And they both have the skill to play. Yes, they lose a little bit on the actual speed of the game, but, that'll come with time. But their savvy of the game, really, that doesn't even come into play. That doesn't harness them at all.
there's one defining series for you that helped you claim second place in the district. That was against Prosper. Both games decided by a shootout. You split the season series, lost the first one, paid them back in the second round just early last week. And shootouts, those pressure situations, I'm sure that can serve a young team well as you now move into the postseason.
Well, my experiences with shootouts go all the way back to other teams that I've coached in the past. I mean, I've seen state championships lost on shootouts, and I kept telling the kids how important it was. Last year, we had some shootouts, and I don't think we won one of them. And this year, coming into the year when we lost our first shootout, I told the kids, I said, we're going to spend a lot of time on shootouts. And we've spent as much as 30, 40 minutes on just shootouts. And the kids know the importance. I mean, those points can really add up quick, and you can lose those points. And they really believe now that when we step up there in the shootout, we're going to win the shootout too. So,
another game that can serve you well down the road is your most recent matchup against the district champion, McKinney. It was a 2-1 loss. McKinney just surviving. They pick up a goal by Jason Horvath in the final 10 minutes. That's a game that could have gone to a shootout, but McKinney pulls it out. Physical battle, neck and neck the whole way. It's really the last time you two will see each other as rivals in the district, for the next 2 years. What did you take from that game?
I see that. I think the matchup with McKinney is a mental thing for us. And the kids really going into that game, I saw some excitement in their eyes, and I really felt like that they believe now they can beat McKinney. And the thing about it is that the goal was scored. You know, we tied up, and then the goal was scored for them to go ahead, and that's just the way the game fell. But the thing about it is I saw a different look in their eyes when we played them the second time. You know, nothing against McKinney. Alan Pocock's a great coach, a good friend of mine. But bottom line, I really believe we were the better team in that game.
You know, and it's interesting as we transition to the first round playoff matchup for your club, Frisco Liberty, the third place team from District 618 4A. Liberty probably feels like it was the better team when you guys met in the regular season. Back in the Frisco ISD tournament, the Dr. Pink Invitational, your team prevailed 3-2. Jacob Diaz had 2 goals. But Liberty, you know, you had to come back to win that one. And now Liberty feels like, oh, they can get some payback.
This is kind of the feeling I got when I talked to Coach Kaiser from Liberty. I mean, I think he felt like, oh, wow, I'm glad we're getting this group. It's not the same team. And I told you from the beginning, you know, these kids, they're going to surprise a lot of people. And now they have some confidence, and they've got some wins behind them. Liberty better look out. I hope they're a little overconfident myself.
How do you handle these next few days as you get ready for Liberty Friday night at Boyd?
We'll look at some film. We'll talk about their players. They have 2 key players. They have a really good forward. He's about 6'3", 6'4", good player. They have a good midfielder. Outside of that, they're a pretty good team, but they're nothing, really special. I think what we'll do is we'll have to figure out a way to stop them in the middle.
What do you want to tweak? What do you want to shore up here as you have some time off?
I think we need to get better at taking the ball outside and setting up our offense from the outside in instead of inside out. And we've done that, and I've convinced the kids that sometimes you can really get the defense off guard by kicking the ball to the outside and sending it back in and crossing it and making things happen. It's not about dribbling the ball through the middle and scoring. It's about setting the defense and finding the weak parts in the defense, and the kids have been good about doing that.
Well, Tommy, we appreciate the time. Best of luck.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Tommy Sills, head coach of the North Bulldogs. They shouldn't be a surprise anymore, claiming the #2 seed from District 17 4A, and they look to take advantage of this opportunity after missing out last year. The playoffs begin Friday night at Boyd, North and Frisco Liberty. And that is our show for today. Next week, we will recap the wrestling season in McKinney ISD. In fact, quite a few wrestlers advanced to the state competition. Remember, if it's McKinney ISD Athletics, it's on Sports Talk. I'm Ted Emrich. See you next time.